All right, we are live. Hello, everybody who's been waiting for. Um, Good evening. Hope you're doing great. Hope the sound is okay on the stream. Let's see. Okay. Looks like we're all set again. Hi, everyone. And um, I guess we already have the people, so we could kickstart. And basically, I would like to start with task overview of the second part of Smart Home UI and answer perhaps the most frequently asked question about the deadline. I quickly realized that the task is a combination of the topics from 2 weeks, since it covers module services, DI, routing, HTTP, and partially RxJS. Um, and perhaps the week or the 10 days that was allocated for the task is not enough like to cover all the cases. So the deadline now is being prolonged till the August of 7, which is Thursday. So meaning that you'll have up to 15 days since the date since the task start to complete it, and hope it will be sufficient for you based on your reactions it is. So hope we are all settled this up, and we are good to go next. Probably before we discuss the questions, since I haven't introduced you in person the task that is dedicated to the part two, probably I'll do a really quick overview for you. And in case if there will be still questions to the task, then we could discuss. For sure, I'll take the questions from the thread I left for you. But before that, let's focus on the task itself. I'll do the quick overview and refine some of the requirements. So maybe I will already partially answer some of the questions. All right. So the part two, which is dedicated to introducing the login functionality along with the authorization. So basically, we'll introduce like one more page for logging in, and this will be our starting point. Basically, if you're the anonymous user, like you haven't logged in yet, this will be your starting point. So once you open up the application, the first you should see is login flow. This login page, and upon login, you should be directed to your dashboard. The rules are described like in the requirements. Whenever you you fetch the dashboard, please first, and then use the first available values from the backend. So what does it mean? Let me probably do this way and open up the first part. This will be the entry point for registered users. So meaning if you uh, have the authorization token and it is valid, this should be your entry point. Basically, this represents the road. Let me just find it up in the description of the part two. So basically, this will be your entry point for authenticated user, meaning that there should be specified the dashboard ID and tab ID. And in the part two of the requirements, it is specified that if either dashboard ID or tab ID is missing or invalid, use the first available values from the backend. So what does it mean? Whenever you load the dashboard lists to your application, the first occurrence should be selected by default in case if you don't have anything specified uh, in the root params ID, right? The first one should be selected. So it comes to the dashboard list along with the tab switcher. So the first should be selected by default. And to a little sum up on the question. I've seen like some of you was asking about it. If you are the anonymous user, you should start at the login page. If you are the authenticated user, you should start already with the dashboard, like the first selected dashboard and first selected tab. If you specify specifically the dashboard ID and tab ID, then it should select whatever is specified in your code. So it is clear here, I believe. In case if not, please let me know. So yeah, we introduced like now the login, and there were a couple of rules that explain how should we perform the authorization and in which cases we should call the API profile, where we should treat like the user is authenticated or it's anonymous. Well, I believe like the architectural notes are clear for you. Some points about the HTTP interceptor and the listing of API endpoints, which is duplicated in the repository with the API. We'll touch point this as well to get more details to you how to work with that. So you're given the endpoints, and here we start with the rules of how we should authorize. Yeah, I just see like the description might be not too detailed, but let me explain some of the points. Whenever you do the authorization, right? So we'll be utilizing token authorization, which means along with all of the requests, we'll be setting the authorization header, which will equal to bearer. It's important because we use bearer token authentication mechanism and the token itself. And for all of the API requests, like apart from login, you should use this header in order to access the data, because otherwise you will not be able to do that since it will lead you to unauthorized. So just in case if you haven't seen the tool before or you don't understand what's going on, so the tool is called Postman. It allows you to create the collection of API requests, test your backend, and see the sample results so that you will be better prepared on the front end, and you can prognose and see how the backend overall works. And this is like the easiest way like to do so. All I need like is Postman app, and there is the Postman collection file, which is located in the Smart Home JSON server repository created by me. The link, you can find it in the task description for Smart Home API. You can navigate here, and here will be this the Postman collection. For sure, it will not contain any of the credentials, so you will need to do that by your own. But don't worry, you do not need to coming up with anything specific. And if you already seen the source code, you might be seen the db.json file. So basically, this is our sample data, right? Which we can manipulate or to take something from here and start using it. So in case of users, we can either choose anyone, or you can adjust any db.json file based on your needs, or if you see like some of the data is not complete or is wrong, you can align the JSON. So the structure is given for you for the reference, like, and to kickstart with the implementation. So if you see it needs to be modified for your needs, then welcome. You can make a fork of the repository, or you can just simply, yeah, basically, I've seen like some of you already made a fork, and I haven't even thought about that. Probably that would be great if you will create a fork, your own fork, especially if you would like to customize some of the data. Why? Because it will be convenient for your mentor to grab your forked version of the JSON server and verify your task. Probably I will include it to the requirements as well whenever, well, it will not be evaluated, but just for you to make it easier for mentors to evaluate your tasks. Okay, getting back to the to our API, as I told, you can change the DB JSON files as you want, or if you just want to kickstart the implementation, just grab any user from here. So let's go back to Postman and see what we can have. Oh, obviously, let's test that it handles the wrong username and password correctly, and let's see whether it works fine. Yes, so as you see for login, you will need to send a JSON payload with username and password properties to the login endpoint, and in the return, you'll obtain the object with the property token. This token needs to be stored in the local storage as soon as it will be invalidated to clean it up. So basically, what does it mean? Let me just quickly do a quick reference of what do I mean. So basically, let's assume that you're loading your token, you're doing the authorization. So you should do something like, okay, let me probably create a new file, just a new Scratch file, like for your reference, and do some stuff to showcase it to you. Okay, I need a new file, please. I don't want to add this. So basically, you'll have like your service. Let's see, it will be like all service, which will have. Okay, I don't like the 4 spaces. Let's do it like 2. Okay, and now, so we'll have the HTTP client dependency. So we'll do something like this. HTTP client. It will, for sure, I don't have any imports, so I think it will be clear. Something like this, and then you'll pass username, password, which basically means that you'll need to like post with this username and password. Then you'll get, I'll just write in a single file for your reference. For sure, you'll need to, to come up with your own service structure. We'll do something like this. So basically, all I do is to do some side effect. The side effect will not affect the value that comes from the HTTP request, but here we could probably call token service or so, save token, which under the hood will call the local storage. I go like for having separate services, even if you're working with standard API like local storage, because you split up the context. Otherwise, your service will be responsible for several logic, right? Like doing the API requests and also work with local storage. So it should do one thing. And we will focus on doing, basically, that's how the average Angular service on production looks like if it works with the API. So basically, it has bunch of the methods which communicate with your backend. Maybe you do some mapping to satisfy your interface, right? But nothing more than that. So the service that works with HTTP client ideally should be responsible only talking to HTTP client. So yeah, you do the the request, you save the login. So maybe just for reference, let's do set item. So we're setting item with our token. Next time, when you launch the application, you need to get the item from the local storage. And then we go next to our requirements. We take our token, and in case if it's present in local storage, we call API slash API slash profile. Which means like we first load current user details to be displayed on our app, and second, we do the validation of our token. Yeah, actually, there is no like logic for invalidation of tokens on our sample backend, right? But in real life scenario, token can be expired. Meaning that you'll need to check whether it is still valid or not. And if it's not valid, which means like this endpoint will return your unauthorized. So let's simulate this behavior by calling user profile. Basically, we already did that by excluding the authorization header. So as you see now, it works fine. So let's do some invalid token, and you will see it is unauthorized. In your case, if you see the requirement that is related to, to token invalidation, then you need to prepare the logic without testing it, because that might not be possible with the backend. So basically, you can mock the behavior on your own end by either like excluding some of the token from the DB list and simulate the behavior of invalid token, or you can mock the error on the source code side, but I would recommend you doing it on the backend side by modifying the DB file, so that it would be much easier for you to properly validate the error. So yeah, that's what about here. Let's probably go back to questions. Can we use cookies for HTTP request interceptor? Our backend does not use the cookie authentication, so I'm not sure which of the cookies you would like to use. Our backend uses bearer authentication via like personal access token, right? So it means we do not utilize cookies. To use cookies, you need the backend to send the request with appropriate headers. Let me do like a quick overview here. How the cookies are usually set. Basically, it's being set by a server or by a backend which you're requesting the data, right? Assuming I'm requesting the page for this documentation one, and let's inspect our network tab to see, or maybe I'll do also this way. Let's clear everything, so it should be up here. Let's clear up. I'll not take much time here. So what I want here is to showcase how would you identify like where the cookies are set. So it should be in response headers, and each time the cookie is set by a server or by a backend, as I already told you, and it represents by the set cookie header. But for some reason, I don't see anything here. Oh, maybe it shouldn't be fetch XHR. So instead, let's maybe try looking up something here. And nope. Okay. But anyways, the cookie does not usually is not set by client, so it's been used by a server to like either to set up the auth token or some auxiliary data to a browser, and this is not our case, right? Our case is token authorization. So what you need is to perform the request. Let me probably go back to the source code. You need to perform the request, gets the data from it, set to local storage, and keep it alive in the session. Next time, when you go back to your application, simply get this token from local storage and do the request. So basically, this would be a part of the HTTP interceptor in your scenario. So hope here it's clear. Auth to flow, well, it's a pretty complicated thing. I mean, comparing to cookie and personal access token authorization. It's the flow. It's a bit more different, and it consists not even one but several API requests, and this quite complex, more complex topic that should be considered separately. But this is not the case for our task. So just in case. Let's move on. So I hope we're clear with the entry point for the app. So anonymous users should also lead up to the login page, right? In case if it's authenticated, then it should land on the dashboard already with pre-selected dashboard and tab. So refer to the task description for more details. Here it describes what's happening on login, how to handle errors, what happens on successful login. So on successful login, we immediately start calling API profile, which basically returns the current user info to be displayed in the sidebar, which is full name and initials. Which is displayed like here. And this will prove that our token is valid. For token invalidation, again, let me just showcase you the behavior. Let's assume I want to test the token invalidation and the logic in my HTTP interceptor. Since I haven't yet implemented the token invalidation, and I highly doubt that I could make it for this course run, what we can do. You can pick up any of the user that you are utilizing for the tests and simply change the token to some other thing. Then, of course, you need to restart it. So now the token, I use the same token as usual, and it leads me to unauthorized. So if you get this status while calling the user profile, it means that your token has been invalidated. The user session has been invalidated, and you should clean up the token from local storage and direct user back to the login page where he could start over. So hope here we are clear. What else do we have? So a few words about sidebars, which should be visible only when the user is logged in. The special case like for empty state, and the routing for dashboard and the page not found. We already covered this case. This will be the main route for our dashboard that's already implemented in part 1. And again, it should pre-select the first dashboard ID and tab ID in the list based on the backend response. Okay, and that's pretty much it here. Let's see, no more questions here. So then let's start reviewing what we already have. The deadline is already prolonged till 7th of August, as I already announced to you. And then many questions. Okay, let's go next. Can we use parser libraries together with the HTTP client when doing practical tasks? When I was pre-reading the question, to be honest, I haven't didn't have much idea of the question, but just in case, if I understand you right, basically, while doing the tasks, you do not need any parsers to be included. Based on the response type being returned from the backend, you'll get proper parser. So meaning that when you do this API request and to get the response, Angular will already parse this JSON into the object so you can access it easily without any parsers. So it already has the parsers out of the box. And basically, you do not need to set up anything additionally. Should we include some or all of the backend code in our repository in order to perform a work check if we change the data, or do we need to do dictionary mapping via a pipe? I use icons from CDN and therefore change these fields, and I don't know who will check my work to inform him about it. My proposal is to go to this repository and make a fork. Do that in case if you want to introduce some custom data. Like if you would like to change the DB files for your preference and you would like to save your work for the task checker. Let's utilize in this way. And if you plan to deploy your application to a public servers for the mentor to check the work, then still leave the local host URL in your code and instruct the mentor that he should go to the JSON server, either to the original one or to the forked version, and he should run it locally. So regardless whether he clones the code and runs it locally or he accesses some publicly available service where you're deployed your Angular app, it should work fine. So just leave the same URL of localhost that leads to the JSON server and instruct that it should be run locally. I don't think that it makes sense to spend the time to deploy your version of the backend. So let's agree on the easiest part. So I hope it is clear here. Again, next one. Do we need to make a link to the login page through the browser address bar because the redirect to login doesn't work for guests? Yeah, basically, I already answered the question. You do not need any login buttons because this route will be accessible by the anonymous users only. There is no need to implement the guard to check whether a user is anonymous. This is not included in the requirement. I think it's already too much. But the idea is this page will be accessed by the anonymous users only, since it's the only one available for them. Thus, you do not need any buttons, so all you need is to declare the route, implement the guards for the rest of the routes, and direct the user to log in case like if he is anonymous. That's pretty much it here. Is the full name displayed only in the expanded sidebar state or in all states? It doesn't fit the width when collapsed. So if you see like something is not looks so good as expected, you can make your edits to the layout again. And for the screenshots that are taken are for your reference, and you can make any changes to your layout as you want. If you see like this name does not fit entirely the sidebar, then you could either shrink the font size or not to make it go in a one row. Gonna experiment with this. So this fully up to you. The requirement is to display the initials, letter, and full name, and that's it. But how it looks like, it will not be evaluated. Is it necessary to hide the tab switches on top that were in the first stage and control the switching of routes through them? There is no need to either to show or hide because this tab switcher is a part of the dashboard component. If we look at the part one of the task, here you have the component structure, and it was created with the reference to the future tasks where you need to create the routing. So the idea was to, if we look at this screenshot, right? So you have sidebar right here and the dashboard component right here. So it has tab switcher and cards list. So the tab switchers are the part of the dashboard component, meaning that there is no need either to hide or to show them. It will be the part of the page. And the next part was, these tab switchers will control the routing. So basically here, the tabs represent the tab ID. Basically, you get this information from the backend. If we look at the sample of, okay, the dashboards, okay, I need to remove one letter here. Got it. Just give me a sec. I need to relaunch it. Okay, here we go. Unauthorized. Let me pick some of the tokens here. And let's go here. All right, here we go. So with the get dashboards, as you see, it does not return the full dashboard. Instead, it returns the ID, title, and icon. Basically, the information to be displayed like on the sidebar. And once you click it, then you send API request to fetch the specific dashboard. And here you have the tab list, which are basically displayed right there. So the tabs belong to a single dashboard, not to all dashboards, right? This is important. So these tabs belong to one dashboard. So if you have the overview, those tabs, we see duplicates here, but in our case, anyways, this is the part of a single component. So hope here I answered the question. Let's go to the next one. Should switching between dashboards in the sidebar lead to navigation to the first element of a tab array? Yes, it is described in the task requirements. The first tab should be selected by default. Again, if we go back here, where is it? So it should be the part of, this should be part of the dashboard. Okay, here. If dashboard ID or tab ID is missing, use the first available values from the backend. So which means the first dashboard ID that comes from the backend and first tab ID. What it will mean for us? First, we need like going to dashboard ID or like even to dashboard, right? First, we go to dashboard road, load everything related to dashboards, or we can even do that on the startup without reloading it, right? And then based on it, it will return the list of dashboards without tabs. So we can pick the first one from here. It will be overview. Then you do the API request to fetch the specific dashboard. You will see which tabs it has, right? And pick the first one to be selected. So it will represent the tab ID. So basically, for all of these roads, you will have one single component, which is dashboard, which is already created. You do not need to create new components for each of the roads. We can utilize one component only for this navigation, even if dashboard ID or tab ID is missing. So it should be one component. Or it could split it up and let's say yeah, the sidebar goes separate, and this is part of the global layout. Then it means it will listen to the user state only, which means once a user is authenticated, then we need to show up the sidebar um, with the list of dashboards. Okay, let's go further if it's answered. Yeah, and just in case if you already specified the navigation parameters, then it to take as is. Only in case if it's empty, you should take the first reference. Should route open a not found page? Already explained. If your anonymous user should lead to login. If you're authenticated, you should already see the dashboard. The not found page, the case for everything else. Then let's go further. Which page should land by default? It's already answered. What exactly is the anonymous user state? Which means it means you don't have the access token or user information. So I would treat the anonymous user when you don't have the item in the local storage, as I was showing you here. You can set up the token, which means that we are in. In case if token is invalidated, we remove it from local storage and we are the anonymous. That's what it means. And let's go here. Let's see. Should the for page for unauthorized user contain a button that redirects to the login page? It is not stated in the requirements. So if you want to, you can add it, but it will not be evaluated because we do not have this in our requirements. You could implement this, nobody restricts you, but I would rather focus on the requirements itself, the primarily ones that are stated in the task description. And if you see, like, if you have more time for enhancing your app, then you could spend some time to add login button, some other logic, right? But first you need to focus on the task itself, and then if you have a free time before the deadline, to enhance it. So hope we are clear here. Okay, so looks like I went through all of the questions that you left to me, also did some overview, and it should be much clear for you regarding any doubts that you might have related to the part 2 of the tasks. So yeah, I guess then we're good to go. I see no more questions in the thread. Then right after our session, I will create the next one. And please pay attention that we'll be meeting with you next time, not on Monday, but I would propose you to meet on Friday the same time, because I'll be on vacation for 2 weeks. That does not mean that I'll completely disappear, right? I know that's already like quite rarely checking the Discord, only if that you leave for me and answer with delays. But anyways, I would propose to meet you on Friday. In case if you will have any questions by that time, because I highly doubt that I could make it like next week, like 4th and 11th. But anyways, I will keep monitoring the chats and answer any questions either related to the course or to the tasks, in case if something is unclear. Or even I could record the overview for you. We'll see whether it will be suited to you well. But yeah, just keep in mind, I would like to meet with you on Friday, because I highly doubt that I can make it on Monday, same time, and 11th of Monday, which means the week after. So I would like to meet like on Friday, which means that I'll not be able to conduct the webinars on for 2 weeks, since I'll be like of current current location without direct accesses. So yeah, I will also leave it as MFU or follow up. So I guess then we should be good. Yeah, the recording will be available once we finish up. Okay, looks like we're good and to go, and no more questions left. And in case if you have anything else to be asked, so please write down in the chat in case if you have anything to ask. I will give you a few minutes to think on it, and in case if nothing new will be added, then I guess we're good to conclude today. Okay, so looks like nothing else. I'll just give a few more chances. But anyways, open like to for your questions. Please tag me or chat in private. I've seen several messages to me. And I'll answer it as soon as we'll get like more attention to it. So we'll try my best, like not to make you to wait it for long. But looks like we're good for now. I see like another quite complex task for you. So I hope we're good now. So the deadline is prolonged. You get the answers. But still, if you have anything that bothers you, do not hesitate to chat us. And looks like still nothing new. So I believe then we're good to go and we could close the session for today. So thanks for your time, for your attention. Good luck with the task and do not hesitate to reach us in case of any doubts, either us or mentors. For task or course information, you can chat me. For rest, you can chat your mentors in case if no, I'm still free to help you. But anyways, thank you all for today. Have a great week and good luck with the task. So have a good one. And see you next time.